Hey everybody, welcome to this week's Market Snapshot. What's happened in the Northern Virginia real estate market in the last 7 days in under 5 minutes. Here we go. Okay, so it's been an exciting 7 days. We had a new listing that we took live this past week. Activity was kind of slowing down and calming down a little bit. We took this new listing. We went through our coming soon analysis. We ended up with enough showing scheduled. We knew that we were priced right. We had our buyer pool selected appropriately. We hit the market. We had 8 showings the first day. By the end of the first day, we had 3 offers in hand and we had 2 more coming. And the sellers ratified a contract for above asking price with no contingencies, along with a pre-settlement occupancy that allowed them to stay the full time that they wanted to stay after the transaction, and an early closing. So the sellers, basically, it was a blessing. The sellers got exactly what they wanted. The buyers got a fantastic property, and to the seller's credit, they staged the property beautifully. They worked really, really hard on getting the property ready, and it showed so well. They repainted the entire property, changed out the fixtures, updated the things that they could do that were low cost and that were high value, and they actually broke the record for their complex as far as the sales price is concerned. And the buyers got a great property, so everybody is winning in this transaction. So the feel of the market is that the activity is kind of picking up a little bit, but let's see what the actual numbers look like. Let's dive into the graphs and see what the last 7 days have done. So if you look here, our black line, as always, is going to be the buyer activity. Buyer activity represents demand. These are the number of properties that went under contract in the last 7 days. The teal line here represents supply. That's the inventory. That's the new properties that came on the market in the last 7 days. So you can see that there was a decrease in buyer activity and a decrease in supply. And what happened was, here we had Memorial Day weekend, and then here school let out. So we've had a period of about 3 weeks where we had a holiday, and then we had an event where change always ends up slowing the market down just a little bit. Anytime school goes out or goes in, buyer activity and inventory kind of decrease for a week or two after that, just because everybody's adapting to the new schedules. So I do anticipate this kind of rebounding a little bit. I don't think it's going to be a sharp spike. We are getting towards the end of the summer peak season, but I think that we're going to flatten out, maybe with a little bit of an increase over the next 3 weeks or so. But what does this mean as far as like seller's market versus buyer's market? So this gap here, you can't really tell on this graph, but the gap did increase just a little bit, which meant that there was a little bit more demand than there was supply. Now, if you look at this versus last year, you can see here is where the buyer activity was this year. Here is where it was last year. So there's a little bit more buyer activity last year than there is this year. And inventory is here this year versus here last year. So there's a little bit more inventory or supply than there was last year. So while we did increase in seller market strength for this season, last year it was up here. So what does this mean? Basically, it means that if you're a seller and you put a property on the market and you present it appropriately, you fresh paint, change out your fixtures, update what you can without wasting money on updates that you don't need to do. If you present the property appropriately, you're going to be able to get top market value and possibly multiple offers like our clients did on their property this weekend. If you just throw a property on the market and you overprice it, it's going to sit, because there are properties that are sitting on the market right now. From a buyer's perspective, if you're going after a new property that is presented well and everything, you need to be prepared and strategic with your offers so that you can compete. We had some good offers that came in. We had 5 good offers that came in, and we actually had a couple offers that netted more for the seller, just a little bit more. But it was a little more risky for the seller. And when I was trying to explain that to the agent didn't quite understand what I was saying to him. So the risk for the seller made them go with the other deal. And it was exactly what they were looking for, contingency wise and everything. So just make sure you're working with an agent that's very strategic and can help you put together a strong offer. The other thing is, from the seller's perspective, make sure that you're presenting the property appropriately and you'll get top market value. It's still a great market for that. So it's a calm market, it's less competitive, but those that are coming into it knowledgeably and well prepared are doing very, very well in this market, both buyer side and sell side. If you're a buyer and you would like us to sit down with you and help you put together a plan to make sure that you're protected through the buying process, happy to do that. And if you're a seller, happy to come by, take a look at your property, give you some recommendations on potential updates that would give you a great return on the investment, how to properly stage your apartment, and then let you know what you might be able to sell it for in this current market. Happy to do those. Kelly and I do that all the time for buyers and sellers at no charge. If you'd like those services, please reach out to us at 703-783-2143. And if you don't have any questions, then we'll see you guys on next week's video. Have a great week out there. Bye.